So recently a new game called Anime Online has been released, and basically it's an anime crossover game where it's basically ABA, right? And pretty much the game revolves around fighting other characters which are in the anime. Other types of anime, even though there are Marvel characters, it's basically a general crossover. There's Spider-Man in the game. There's even Mortal Kombat, the Scorpion in the game. It's very, very different. Now, my opinions on the game is the game's graphics are amazing, as you can see yourself. The looks of the game is like top tier of Roblox. It's beautiful. The issue comes though from the mechanics and how you play, so that means the controls, how you feel when you use your character. Is it responsive, is it not? Do you feel your character moving, or is there a delay between you clicking the button and the character moving? As in the immersion of the game, you don't feel like immersed because everything is so slow, unfortunately. And it reminds me of other anime cross games which have been released in the past. This is probably just a revamped version, if I'm not wrong. I've seen a game like this before that was kind of similar. It's very, very similar to this, but it could be different. They're just similar. But the game as a whole, what I think of it is they focused more on the graphics and the visual side instead of the actual gameplay. And when in reality you should focus on the gameplay, but I guess that's the reason people play. People will play a ugly looking game, not ugly but like a decent looking game. It doesn't have to be beautiful, it can be just decent looking, and as long as it's fun and responsive and you have fun playing it, it works. Unfortunately, in this game they just skipped over the gameplay and just focused on the graphics and just made some super basic combat. One thing I can say for sure is in Anime Online the effects are very big, but that's also a part of the graphics and the visuals, so that's one thing that I can't but as a whole the combat is not responsive, the combat is not fun, and you get tired of fighting other players in this game because it's the characters are not balanced. So that's the issue. There's no balance between characters. Certain characters are overly overpowered and other characters are trash. They don't work how they're supposed to do, and you can't even hold a torch against certain characters. And most of these OP characters are locked behind Robux, they look behind they look behind like game passes and prestige and stuff like that, where in reality all the characters should be balanced in a crossover fighting game, regardless of how difficult it is to get. Even if you need to prestige 100 times to get, let's say, Gojo Satoru from Jujutsu Kaisen, it doesn't matter, like he shouldn't be overpowered, because this is the game should be based around skill and not about how overpowered, because everybody would just follow the meta then and just try to get the best characters, and there would be no variety. In reality, there should be a variety of characters in which all of them are capable of defeating each other. Even though that's easy to say and not easy to implement, certain characters will always be better than others due to how it just works. You cannot make something 100% balanced, unfortunately, but you should try your best to do that at least. If you're gonna make a fighting game, try to make it balanced. This game doesn't do that, and they completely lack the gameplay factor, which is why the game died very quickly, unfortunately. But it is, as a whole, you should check it out because it's pretty visually pleasing and it's pretty interesting. The music and everything, as well as the graphics. Gameplay wise, it's not worth it because, as I said, it's clunky, it's slow, and you should not play this. You should play this if you wanna see how beautiful it can be. You can check out all the maps, you can check out all the characters, maybe get inspiration from it. But in all regards, the game as a whole, I would say, as a summary, it is a ABA with amazing graphics, except they have removed all combat and the game is just worse altogether because they skipped out the combat and just put in graphics. Unfortunately, they're overly fixated on graphics instead of fixating on obviously the combat and the mechanics, which is what makes the game, the structure of the game, important. And that's what a fighting game. In a fighting game, the fighting should be the focus, not how good it looks. That'd be a showcase. Now this game seems more like a showcase rather than a fighting game, unfortunately. Hopefully they can learn from this next time they make a game, and they can actually focus more and put more of the resources into making a better combat instead of making better looks, you know, making Makima or power, and you know, those characters look good, except it doesn't matter that they look good. Asta looked good. It doesn't matter if they look good. The game won't be played just because it looks good. It'll be played because it's actually fun, and the combat is balanced and it's responsive. That's why people play it. But altogether, that's all, and peace out.